where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio.
Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace in that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say, for you, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya, company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want, how I want.
So Funkhauser, I'm trying to come up with. I got to get some time to get into the studio and record all these absolute classics. But
like what?
You know how I like to write rap songs from the point of view of my dogs Milhouse and Homer?
Yeah, I can't remember the last one, but it was a while ago. It was a really good song.
The one that goes, "My name is Milhouse, and I'm a puppy, and I am cute, and I am fluffy. So check me out. Just check me out." It's better when it's in Milhouse's voice. And then it goes, "I chase the cat like every day, getting all the treats in the old school way. When I'm at the park, hugs for my pugs. But back off, bitch, because I'm getting all the belly rubs. Milhouse, I come from the streets. That's why my paw's so fly with the beats. That's why I'm going to get all of the treats, so the puppies in the park just can't compete. Milhouse, nobody does it better. Make your face redder than an Irish setter. When it comes to balls, I'm a straight go-getter, making you want to be a better petter. Now shake that puppy tail. Break it down. Shake that puppy tail. Uh-huh." And then there's the ubiquitous bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay part. I'll get it recorded, but I got to start getting some of these ideas down, because I came up with an idea on the way to work today in the car to do a pro puppy adoption song from the point of view of my puppy Milhouse. Yep, this is my idea, to the tune of the Beastie Boys' Paul Revere. And this is all I got so far. But, well, here's a little story I got to tell about one cute puppy you know so well. It started way back in history when my dad, A.D., adopted me. That's how it would go. And
that's great. Good start.
Yeah, it's a good start, right? One of these years I got to finish some of these brilliant seedlings of ideas and turn them into the slabs of musical genius that await. But it actually got me thinking. I'm driving in, Paul Revere by the Beastie Boys is on. I start freestyling in the voice of my puppy, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about how much this little guy means to me and how much he's become a part of my family in such a teeny tiny amount of time. And then I start thinking about the fact that, well, it's the holidays. The holidays are coming up. And time-honored tradition, what do people like during the holidays? They like to get a puppy. And first and foremost, puppy, kitten, whatever, not just for the holidays. It's for life. That said, man, there's nothing better than a dog. And if you're thinking of getting a dog for your kid, I don't have kids of my own, but if I ever do, one of the things I look forward to the most is seeing them bond with a dog. There's something magical about the combination of children and dogs. And so it being that time of year where maybe people are thinking about, hey, maybe we should get the kid a puppy, or maybe I should get my girlfriend a puppy, or maybe I should get my wife or husband a puppy. Maybe that would be good. There's a lot of people now thinking about getting a dog or a cat or whatever the case may be that don't the rest of the year round. And as I freestyled to the Beastie Boys in the voice of my puppy Milhouse, I thought to myself, here's this little guy that was... It really kind of chokes me up to think about it. Here's this little guy that was living on the streets before he got scooped up by the folks over at the Wagging Dog Rescue I adopted him from. And unbelievable how much a part of my life he is, how much a part of my family he is, how much he is my family, how much the first thing I see in the morning is his little nose looking over the side of the bed, being like, it's time to wake up, Dad. Time to join the human race. Time to get up and go out there and take me on a walk and feed me. How's it going? But it's that look of love as I see the two paws pop up over the side of the bed and the nose, and then the eyes follow it, that makes me just, melts me. And before I had dogs, I used to start most of my days like this. Crap. Here we go again. First thing I see. Wet nose, puppy smile. 2 little eyes coming out of a furry face. And my heart is immediately filled with love. And this is a dog that was on the streets. Up until right when I met him. And you know how I got him? I have a thing for fuzzy-faced dog. I want a specific dog. I want a specific-looking type of dog. And in that way, I got exactly what I wanted to. I shopped around for a perfect dog for me. And he was an adoptable dog. I didn't have to buy him. I just went to petfinder.com. It looked up all the local shelters. And booyakasha, I had my perfect little family member. And if you're thinking of getting a dog at this stage in the game for the holidays, as people do, first and foremost, please be aware that, it is obviously for life. But I want you to, if you haven't done this already, really think about adopting versus shopping. It costs taxpayers roughly $2 billion a year to round up, shelter, and euthanize homeless animals. Wouldn't you rather pay the tab with belly scratches? And if you really feel like you need a puppy, Millhouse, I think, was like 11 months old when I got him. That's what the vet thinks, around 11 months to a year old. If you desperately need a puppy, the average age of animals going into shelters is between a year and 18 months. Still, absolutely a puppy if that's what you're after. Science shows that dog owners are less stressed thanks to hormonal and chemical changes that occur from spending time with their puppies. All the more reason to snuggle with a shelter buddy. I could go on and on and on about the reasons why, but please, if you're thinking about a dog this holiday season, adopt. Don't shop.
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on John Mellencamp.
John Mellencamp formed his first band, Crepe Soul, at the age of 14, and later played in the local bands Trash, Snake Pit Banana Barn, and the Mason Brothers. Shortly after graduating from college in 1974, John would travel back and forth from the Indiana music scene to New York City in hopes of jump-starting his career. He was first cast in the mid-'70s as a corn-fed glam rocker, Johnny Cougar, who shared management with David Bowie. Next, he became a journeyman rock and roller, his first name now shortened to John. In 1979, he released his self-titled album, and it spawned the hit, I Need a Lover.
I need a lover that won't drive me crazy. Some girl will thrill me and then go away. I need a lover that won't drive me crazy. Some girl that knows me number. Hey, hit the highway.
Mellencamp titled the following album, Nothing Else Matters and What If It Did? And that statement reflected his basic disenchantment. In 1982, however, he crossed over to the big time with American Fool, which topped the charts for 9 weeks and yielded the mega hits Hurt So Good and Jack and Diane.
A little ditty about Jack and Diane. 2 American kids doing the best they can.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more John Mellencamp and all your favorite artists.
Hi, I'm Michelle Obama. The images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools destroyed, families searching for loved ones, parents trying to feed their children. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. The people of Haiti are struggling to survive. Please visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to help today. Brought to you by the American Red Cross and the Ad Council.
Like most kids from a privileged white upper-middle-class suburban background, for a significant portion of his childhood, he was pretty convinced he was down. AD on the radio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time, but you're too scared to say what's on your mind.
If you are just joining us, we are talking a little bit about dogs, why they rule. if you've listened to the show for any length of time, have heard me talk about this on multiple occasions. But dogs are the best. They are scientifically proven to be man's best friend. Did you know that it's been proven over and over again that dogs, more than any other animal on the face of the planet, more than monkeys, our closest sort of like evolutionary relative, I suppose you'd call it, without wanting to open up the creationist can of whoop ass, I'm just going to call it our closest evolutionary relative. Monkeys, yeah, they don't understand human emotion as well as dogs. Dogs are more in tune with human emotion than any other animal on the face of the planet. They understand us. They get us. And you know what? If you're looking for proof of God, suck on this, creationists, I would say that a dog is absolutely the closest thing that we've got to proof of a creator who's looking out for us. Why? Here's this thing that's on earth, that sole function in life is to love us. All it wants is to be our friend and to serve us and protect us and have our affection in return. Dale Carnegie wrote long books, long manuals about how to be a really good friend to people, about how to be kind, how to take a real interest in other people, how you were serving yourself better if you were a true friend. And he wrote pages and pages and pages and pages on the subject of being a friend. But he boiled it all down by saying, if you really want to be a friend, just try and be more like your dog. Dog wants nothing in return, just wants to be your friend, wants to be of service, wants to be loved and to love. That's a friend. And so, yeah, if you're looking for proof that there's someone up there, out there, who created us and is looking out for us, I think the dog is the best proof of that we have. Here's this thing that is just for you. Its only function is to be your friend, to be your companion. And if you're just joining us, we're also talking about adopting. I've adopted all my puppies. And I think originally I started adopting because when I first got dogs, I was like young. Well, no, like my very first puppy ever, my very first dog ever, Wilfer. Wilfer was like a 90-pound puppy. He was a cross between a Great Pyrenees Mountain Dog and a Golden Retriever. He had the size of an enormous herding dog and the naughtiness of a puppy retriever. He would come into the kitchen wagging his tail, this 90-pound puppy, hit my kid's sister with his tail and slam her across the other side of the room, and she thought it was hilarious. And of course it was. But yeah, I guess that was my first dog, and that was my rescue dog. You know what? I don't think I've ever paid for a dog. Never have. Always just rescued him. And it's funny, when I became an adult and wanted to get my own dog as an adult, I think maybe I thought about going to a breeder or pet store or something like that. I wasn't really focused on the trials and tribulations of adoption versus shopping and the horrificness of puppy mills. I just knew I wanted a dog, and I knew I was a broke kid, so I knew adoption was a cheaper way to go. And you know what? Petfinder.com. You want a designer dog? You want a Yorkie? You want a poodle? You want a Lhasa Apso? You want something of that nature? It's out there. You can find it and you can adopt it. You don't have to go to a breeder. If you're worried about being a big fat lard-ass, fat-filled, bacon-wrapped, bacon-eating, pre-diabetic fatty after the holidays, as we all are, if I'm doing things right after eating my weight in turkey, mashed potato, and stuffing numerous times between now and New Year's Day, by January 1st, if I'm doing things properly, my blood type will be Rocky Road Gravy AB negative. If you're worried about losing a little weight, adopting a dog can help you lose weight. Dog owners take their dogs on walks. They're more active than people that don't have pets. Yeah. Play fetch with your dog. You're going to be walking, running, throwing a bunch of miles that you didn't know that you were going to be walking, running, and throwing before. And if you're worried about finding the right dog for you, 5 to 7 million companions enter animal shelters nationwide every single year. So many chances, so many opportunities, 5 to 7 million of them for you to find your best friend. And you know what? It's sad, but the vast majority of pet stores get their dogs from puppy mills. Absolutely deplorable practice, raising dogs for profit in this way. And by adopting, you're making sure that you're not supporting what is essentially a crime against humanity. And only one out of every 10 dogs born will find a forever home. Only 1 out of 10. That'd be awesome to get that number up a little bit, don't you think? And adopting, yeah, low or no cost. About 65% of adoptions are low or no cost. And if you don't want the hassle of housebreaking a puppy, you can almost cherry pick from adoption. I would like this kind of dog, and I would like to have them be good with kids, and I would like to have them be house trained. Also, it would be great if they could roll over and shake hands. You can get all of this through adoption. I use petfinder.com, or I have used petfinder.com in the past, which is a great link to all your local shelters. And there's so many things and ways to go about this, but that's a great way to start. So please, if you're thinking about doing the whole pet, specifically dog adoption thing this holiday season, go through a shelter. Don't buy a puppy. Don't support the egregious practice of puppy mills. There's a dog out there that needs you. Your best friend is waiting for you. Adopt. Don't shop. That said, as much as dogs are, without a shadow of a doubt, God's greatest gift to man, if you ask me, dog poop was recently used in a hate crime. True story. Dog poop hate crime. We're going to get to exactly how this all works and what went down a little later on in the show. Right now, though, let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. Super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser. A, how are you? And B, what is going on in the world?
I, too, am adoptable. And I'm not as lovely as a dog, but I have the equivalent amount of feet and hands.
Right.
And hair.
Funkhauser would be good to adopt. You're always taking people under your wing. Like
Yeah.
we had our intern Concept 714, who I think is coming back on the show sometime in the not too distant future, but he was a guy that came in. He had this hip hop podcast. He came in, and Funkhauser was like, "Hey, why don't you just, intern, stick around, learn things, become valuable." And Funkhauser nurtured Concept 714. Now he is the host of the #1 hip hop podcast on the planet, thanks to Funkhauser's
which you
nurturing.
can find on iHeartRadio.
Oh, that's the other thing you did. You got Concepts podcast on iHeartRadio. Wake the flock up if you haven't heard it yet. Doesn't matter if you're a huge indie hip hop fan the way I am or not. He can interview someone that you've never heard of before, and he can make it interesting. And it's on iHeartRadio. Why? Because Funkhauser took him under his wing. And Funkhauser continues to educate the next generation of radio producers and superstars. You have someone shadowing you today?
Yeah, say hi, Camille.
Hello.
Camille's here. She's learning how to push the candy-colored buttons today.
Everything's fun and awesome, and definitely feel like I've been adopted and taken into the Funkhauser shelter.
You see that?
well.
You see that? We give back for the holiday season.
Yeah, we give back for the holiday season. Adopting radio strays off the street, giving them homes, giving them purpose. Good stuff. Thank you for joining us, Camille.
Thank you.
I don't actually think of you as a stray. Funkhauser started it, not me. Hey, you got to deal with him the rest of the day, not me. So maybe I'll start some trouble. Funkhauser.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. How are you, and what is going on in the world?
Well, Khloe Kardashian is over her staph infection.
Yeah, Khloe Kardashian got a staph infection, which, if you're keeping track, if you're updating your Kardashian scorecards, brings the number of diseases that the Kardashian family hasn't had down to 0. So there's that. But now she's over her staph infection, which I believe the only staph in her life now comes from Houston Rocket James Harden. See what I did there? If you know what I mean, and I think you do. Go on.
Billy Idol turned 60 yesterday.
You know what? That's actually not a bad Billy Idol.
It's Billy Idol here, 60 years old, 60 years young.
You know, That's a decent Billy Idol, and I know this because the other day, 50 First Dates was on, and I couldn't find the remote.
You mean the Wedding Singer?
No, The Wedding Singer, sorry.
That's all right.
The Wedding Singer was on.
It's the same movie.
Same thing, yeah. The Wedding Singer was on, and I couldn't find the remote, and Billy Idol has a cameo at the end of that, and you actually sound a lot like Billy Idol.
Yeah, you going on this flight too, are you, right?
I'm going to tell those record company guys all about you. He doesn't care about women. They're just possessions to him. Yeah. Billy Idol, hard as it is to believe, turned 60 yesterday. I think that means that the only time Billy lets out a rebel yell these days is, well, either when he's telling kids to get off his lawn or if he's taking a long overdue bowel movement. Mo, mo, mo.
We're going to see him driving a golf cart around in one of those commercials pretty soon.
Apparently, he still kicks ass live. Like, some radio station buddies of mine around the country had him play their festivals recently. And like, all right, 60-year-old...
Does he still bleach his hair there?
Yeah, if it's actually his real hair, man.
It's not a wig. Right.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it? But yeah, apparently he still kicks ass and takes names on stage. I mean, I guess, you know, if Mick Jagger can, he's probably a good 15 years younger than him, so why the hell not? Go on.
Who's this, Camille? What's it?
Psy announces he's releasing a new song.
It's that guy, Psy.
Psy. Open Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
That guy.
We were actually watching it earlier. It was on TV, and I was totally wondering who the graying Asian man was on the TV.
Isn't it like super creepy? Isn't the song called Daddy? And it involves a lot of sort of like weird, kind of vaguely May to December relationship implications with girls calling him Daddy. Is that like, I only heard that Psy had a new video and it's super creepy. Is that a fair approximation? I heard it was called Daddy and it was uber creepy. And is that the implication in the video if you've watched it, Camille?
Yeah, it's a little...
It's a little creepy.
There was definitely like a faux bald cap, graying hair, a change up of girls, and some type of flamenco or salsa dancing going on that was insinuating some kind of sexual something. But, you know, it kind of just... It's his thing. I'm going to let him live.
Uncomfortable. Eagerly, yeah. He's got a new song, and we're all eagerly anticipating getting unbelievably sick of it soon. What was the name of...
Gangnam Style.
No, there's Gangnam Style, and then he had a follow-up, which, as opposed to getting 500 million views on YouTube, only got 100 million views on YouTube, so it was regarded as a humongous flop. It was called, like, Gentleman or something like that.
The one with Snoop?
The one with Snoop Dogg?
I don't know if Snoop was in it, but I remember the video had him, like... This was the concept of the video, and it does make me feel he's got a bit of a filthy sense of humor. There was part of the video where he reaches down his pants, and the implication is that he's rubbing his fingers between his those aren't pillows. He's rubbing his fingers in a intimate orifice.
Is he throwing out hand signs there? Gang signs?
No, not gang signs. No. He's sort of like. He roots around in there, and then he puts his fingers under someone's nose, and they are justifiably disgusted. And that was, like, the concept of the video. Psy walking around doing the awful things to strangers. And I was like, oh, this guy's actually kind of funny. It's like if Gilbert Gottfried was a Korean rapper. He would be Psy, I think. There's a comparison that not too many people can make, but bazinga, I just made it. Yeah, thank you very much. One more piece of news, quick.
Jared Leto finally apologized to his neighbors for a loud Halloween party.
Never would have done it.
Yeah, though, unfortunately for the neighbors, the apology came with a DVD copy of Alexander and the new 30 Seconds to Mars album.
Presence there is predicated on propping him up. He argued that Russia's involvement is aggravating Syria's deadly civil war and is inhibiting the fight against ISIS. The White House is changing the visa waiver program to try and keep out terrorists. The change announced yesterday aims to stop people who have been in war zones from easily getting onto commercial flights to America. It's designed to prevent an attack like those that killed 130 people in Paris last month. One person is dead after a shootout with police in downtown Atlanta. Police say officers tried to pull over an SUV that wouldn't stop. The SUV slammed into a light pole and a hotel shuttle bus. The driver surrendered, but a passenger took off running. Police say the passenger and officers traded gunfire, and the passenger was killed. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Actress, singer, and humanitarian Hilary Duff is kicking off this season of giving for a good cause.
I've joined forces with Johnson & Johnson's Donate a Photo program to raise funds to support Save the Children and other nonprofit organizations.
Donate a Photo is a free app that turns something most of us do every day, sharing a photo, into a way to raise funds and awareness for the causes we care about.
I'm sharing my photo to support Save the Children's Early Step to School Success program, which gives parents and caregivers tools and training they need to give their child a strong start in learning and in life. Johnson's Baby brand will triple all donations made to Save the Children through Donate a Photo this holiday season.
You can do it too. Visit donateaphoto.com.
Trending.
In the NFL on Monday Night Football, the Ravens shocked the Browns 33-27. Now Cleveland lined up for a 50-yard field goal with 3 seconds left to try and win the game, but it was blocked by Brent Urban of Baltimore, and teammate Will Hill scooped it up and went 64 yards for the game-winning score with no time left on the clock. Again, the Ravens beat the Browns 33-27. News from the NFL, New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski suffered a knee bruise Sunday night. He did not tear any ligaments. He's listed as week to week. In the NBA, the Warriors are still undefeated, down 19-0 after a 106-103 win in Utah over the Jazz. Steph Curry had 26 points. Bulls beat the Spurs 92-89. The Hawks topped the Thunder 106-100 despite Russell Westbrook going for 34 points for Oklahoma City. And the Clippers beat the Trailblazers 102-87. In college football, USC removed the interim tag from Clay Helton. He is now their head coach, and he signs a 5-year deal. I'm Eddie Garcia.
We are Buckforce!
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number-1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number-1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House. And British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bob Seger to discuss how having kids has changed his life.
It made finding time to write a lot more difficult because they're just so much fun to be around, you know, and they love having me around, and you know, you just can't, certain things you got to see, you know, those Little League games and the, you know, the soccer and my daughter's cheerleading, acting, you know, singing in shows, both of them, you know, yeah, it's just stuff you can't miss.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bob Seger and all your favorite artists.
Real radio, real radio, 104.1.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, doing savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior. Delivering it with your musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
So we'll get back to the news in just a second, but what are your thoughts, Funkhauser and Camille, because we got you here? What are your thoughts about presidential hopeful Ted Cruz?
You know, we were just talking about presidents before we started. I don't know about Ted Cruz.
A lot of people have reservations about him. Now, I'm a little skewed because I've spent a significant amount of time in Texas, and the way he advocates for the people of Texas, I've seen it firsthand, and that's truly commendable and admirable. I think what freaks me out about him and freaks out a lot of people that are kind of Ted Cruz fans about him is the Bible-thumping bit, especially his father being sort of like kind of this hate-mongering pastor that thinks nothing at all, nothing I tell you of not separating church and state. He's the type of pastor that'll be like, hey, if you vote for this guy, you're going to hell. And I can find a passage in the Bible that supports that. So Ted Cruz is, without a shadow of a doubt, a mixed bag. But he humanized himself to all of us not so long ago by, what would you say your favorite movie is, Funkhauser?
Favorite movie? That's too hard. Yeah. Back to the Future.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Camille, favorite movie? Got one?
Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Fifth Element. See, yeah, that's also a good one. Ted Cruz has a favorite movie that I think a lot of us share, and if it's not your favorite and you've seen it, it's probably one of your favorites, because I've never met a person in this world that did not like Princess Bride. He spoke at a church service in Iowa the other night, and it came out that his favorite movie is The Princess Bride, and he proved it by reenacting an entire scene by himself doing all the voices. Check this out.
And then he blows in full with bellows and says, So, what is it you have that's so worth living for? And he presses his chest, and Wesley goes, True love. And Inigo Montoya goes, you see, he said true love. There is nothing more noble than true love. And Miracle Max goes, you're right. There's nothing better than true love except a nice mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich when the mutton is really it is so good. But that's not what he said. What he said was to blave. And everyone knows to blave means to bluff. And so what happened was you were playing poker and he was bluffing. Liar! Shut up, witch! This is Colonel Kane. Shut up, witch! I'm not a witch, I'm your wife! But after what you just said, I wish I wasn't. The problem is he's afraid. Ever since Prince Humperdinck fired him, he's been afraid. What? I told you not to say that name. What name? Humperdinck. I can't hear you!
Thank you so much for bringing up such a painful subject. And while you're at it, why don't you give me a nice big paper cut and pour lemon juice all over it? It's kind of freaking crazy. Like, I think that endeared him to a large portion of the population that didn't think of him as a human being before. But if he walked up into a church and said, marriage, then I think it would have been done. He would have been president of these United States of America and leader of the free world. He just needed a better line from Princess Bride. But there's that. All right, let's continue with the news, Funkhauser.
I should have seen that movie.
You haven't seen it?
Dude,
Stop!
get a Netflix account.
Stop the news bed. You haven't seen Princess Bride?
No, I have not seen.
And you haven't seen Star Wars?
Nope. Well, I mean, I've seen parts of it, but no.
Oh, I'm on
I can't get behind it
with you.
Yeah, all right, Star Wars I get, because that becomes almost a matter of principle, where people go, you've never seen Star Wars? And you go, no, I haven't. I'm still a functioning human being, and I count in society, too. I haven't seen Star Wars, yet I matter, and I get that moment of principle, especially because you got to be so invested. There's, like, all these Star Wars movies that you have to watch. There's, like, a whole slew of them, and they got the new one coming out, and it's just this whole... Who has time to set all that time aside and catch themselves up with Star Wars if they've never seen it? That I understand. Princess Bride is one movie, and you have a girlfriend, Funkhauser. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that chicks dig The Princess Bride, because it's about true love, and it's awesome. And Mandy Patinkin plays a Hispanic guy and does like an accent that could be deemed as racist, but Ted Cruz got away with doing it because he in fact is Hispanic himself. It's something that you have to see. Make a point of it. Watch it with Canadian Jane. Not only will you love it, not only will it be heartwarming, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess Canadian Jane will be repaying you physically for your tender, caring approach to movie viewing after the show. Watch Princess Bride, and then we can continue. Then and only then can we continue being friends.
Fine. And shut up, Twitter. I know.
All right. Oh, speaking of Twitter, where can people tweet your shadow, Camille?
You know,
you have one of those?
I do, but I'm really just, I'm not on it. It's terrible. I'm more of a Facebook girl. I'm totally into the cheesy recipes still and the long-winded text life stories. Like, I'm caught up in the past. So
yeah,
she's on MySpace.
But actually, I have one, and it's Camille Elizabeth XO. So I haven't stemmed a lot of activity on it. So if you want to find me, it's Camille Elizabeth XO.
All right, then. Well, if you want to have a career in radio, Camille Elizabeth, Twitter is in your imminent future. I promise you.
I'm logging in right now.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. Lesson learned for today. See, shadowing Funkhauser already. The broadcasting career taking the hell off with excellent advice. All right, what else is going on in the news, Funkhauser?
After Sunday's big win over the Patriots, there's talk that Peyton Manning has lost his job as starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos to a guy named Brock Osweiler.
Yeah. Brock Osweiler did a fine job, and now people are wondering if Peyton's done. And just like that, Tim Tebow's faith in God has been restored. Try fitting that into one of your annoying nationwide jingles, Peyton. After Sunday's big win over the Patriots, there's talk Peyton Manning has lost his job as starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos to Brock Osweiler. Kind of, sort of, not really, but you get the gist. Everybody thinks everybody thinks that Peyton Manning is a super unbelievable nice guy, but he does have like this whole sexual assault charge that stemmed from his time in college, and where like the story goes that Peyton Manning, and you know, it's funny because people that are big Broncos fans don't know this story, or at least they deny knowledge of it. But Peyton Manning was playing college football, I guess, and he was bent over as sort of like a female coach was doing some sort of adjustment, dropped his pants, and according to the female coach or medic or whoever it was that was working with him, then proceeded to sit on her face and rub his naked naughty bits all over her in a completely uninvited way. So, yeah. Peyton Manning, your career is done.
When I feel untouchable, I try and make up for all the wrongs I did by living my life like a Cosby kid, jamming on the one like Theo and Stevie. I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta believe me. When I feel like I just can't make it through, I try to think, what would Cliff tell Theo?
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of '67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to put me a leather. My baby used to put me a leather.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Mike Rutherford to discuss the art of songwriting.
I've learned one thing over the years is that actually you can't control it. You can't force it. You can't analyze it. You can't worry about it. You just go and have a good time and mess around, and then something comes along and you grab it. You know, it's something intangible. And if you try and make a program how to do it and do it better, you get lost. So it's like a free-form thing, which you can't control. You just let it ride or not ride. And if it's not working, then you just have a break. That's what I've learned.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Mike Rutherford and all your favorite artists.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
How is it possible that dog poop can be interpreted as a hate crime? We'll get into that in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's roll through what remains of the news, Funkhauser. By the way, tweet super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser at FunkFM. Tweet me at ADSXE. Join the conversation. What was Camille's Twitter again?
At Camille Elizabeth XO, but she's not on the Twitter yet, so give her a day or two.
Oh, she's not on the Twitter.
She's not
I thought she just doesn't
tweetist.
log into... She's not a tweetist. She just... Yeah, okay.
She actually left the room to go find her Twitter. So I don't understand it, but... Oh, here, she's coming back. That's good. Okay.
All right, cool.
Tim Tebow's girlfriend reportedly broke up with him because he wouldn't have sex.
Yeah. Too bad, so sad. I'm sorry. Like, he takes that whole, like... vow of celibacy. How would you... What's it called? True love waits. Saving yourself for marriage.
Whatever.
He's not celibate because I think being celibate implies that you've done it before.
Yeah.
And Tim Tebow, just because of his religious convictions, he doesn't believe in premarital sex, I suppose, is the thing. Who is he dating? It was like a Miss USA or Miss World. Like, it started off as Miss Rhode Island and rose to some sort of Miss something. He was dating some pageant queen.
Former Miss USA, Olivia Culpo.
Yeah, there you go. If this isn't dedication, I don't know what is. Here it is. Tebow chooses Jesus over a former Miss USA. Olivia Culpo dumped him after 2 months of dating because he wouldn't put out. Source said he was really into her. He was sending her love letters and cute notes and professing his love for her, but she had to break up with him because she just couldn't handle not getting busy. He apparently still hits her up, but she just can't deal with the lack of sex thing, and he's pretty adamant about it, too. Olivia Culpo might have a bit of a, you know how some guys or girls like to... Yeah, like if you're gay or lesbian, there's this idea that maybe you can turn someone who's straight. I think Olivia Culpo has a thing for Jesus-y types and wanting to get them to stray from the path. It's like, all right, me or Jesus, only because Olivia previously dated Nick Jonas, and apparently part of the reasons he ditched his vow of purity. So I guess God needed this win, and with Tim Tebow, he got it. So good for God. And don't worry about Tim, because, thanks to his career, note the sarcastic air quotes around the word career, thanks to his career with the Broncos and the Jets and the Patriots and the Eagles, he's pretty used to being dumped for not scoring. Go on.
Roy on Twitter says, abstinence, pretty impressive, honestly. Almost no one holds himself to values like that anymore.
Yeah.
Especially me.
Well, I mean, I've gone through long periods of enforced celibacy, but really enforced because I just don't have any game. Can't talk to women.
We're in a padded room by ourselves. It's not like
we're in a padded. Yeah, like it's not like we have. You know what? And the other thing is, like, honestly, I've always sort of like had this thing where I never want to assume. I never want to put a girl in a difficult position. I'm a nice guy, and we do in fact finish last because I know that. I've been told by people that are significantly better with females that I passed up some prime opportunities because I didn't want to put a girl in an uncomfortable position of being like, hey, would you like to go and have coffee with me sometime? And she says, oh, no. And that's awkward for her, and I don't want to put her through that. So, as a result, there's many boobs that I have not seen or touched that apparently I could have. But
you're missing out. And it's not bad
says
for
the
us,
intern.
actually.
It says, yeah. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Once I get the female, I'm good. I know what to do. I know how to make a woman's midsection sing "Sweet Virginia" once she's in my home, and that is by on Monday night going, "Ooh, I I did the dishes, and yeah, sure, we can totally watch Gilmore Girls. And here are some sweatpants, and I opened a bottle of wine. You do that. It will pay. You do that on a Monday or Tuesday. It will pay dividends on a Friday, my friend. Trust me on this one. Go on. What else?
Twisted Sister is in the news suddenly today because Twisted Sister is not allowing Donald Trump to use the song "We're Not Gonna Take It."
I thought they were.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They are allowing it. That's good.
Yeah. Because if there's one thing they will take when they're not taking other things, and we're not going to take it, it is a big fat royalty check. I actually know Dee Snider. Like, the studio where my band... Yeah, Dee Snider, lead singer of Twisted Sister. I know. Don't get all excited. It sounds impressive. It's not. I don't think it is at all. But Dee Snider's actually a really kind of cool guy, because here's a dude that managed to, be essentially not a one-hit wonder, but a 2 or 3 hit wonder back in the day as, like, the singer of Twisted Sister and the guy that filed his teeth down and all this sort of stuff. And he's not necessarily what you would expect. He is, like... super duper, I think, into like motivational speakers and Zig Ziglar and Anthony Robbins and, like today I will win in all these different ways. And he's been with the same woman for like a bazillion years. We had like a buddy of mine used to play bass in his other band after he was done with Twisted Sister. And we had a baby shower at someone's house together. And his wife, who he'd been with since, like, I don't know, the early 80s or something with, and is the same age as him, stripped down to her swimsuit, jumped right in the pool, and good golly, Miss Molly, is she in excellent shape after all these years. So it seems like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister has some stuff going on, but, like, I think the way he's survived and been happy and fulfilled for all these years is by, being together and being sort of, like, very focused about, all right, what's the next stage of my career? Is it VH1 Behind the Music? Is it some sort of reality show? What's Dealio, and he's got this force of will which allows him to just continue. He was a morning guy too. He did what we did, Funkhauser. He was a morning guy up in Connecticut, I think it was, and he did the show out of his house in Long Island, and he was on the air in Connecticut, and I think he has a show on Sirius XM now. So I'm not surprised that Donald Trump comes along, the GOP leader in the polls. Whether or not Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, the guy that wrote the song, supports his politics, I'm not sure. But knowing how shrewd of a businessman that guy is, I would imagine he'd be like, oh, Donald Trump wants to use our song. That's going to get it played on the highest rated things on the face of the planet for like 9 months steady. That's like another sort of like year and a half of touring we can do where we clear like 20, 30 grand a night. Yep, absolutely. Go ahead and use it, Donald Trump. We're not going to take it. So, yeah, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Did you know that We're Not Gonna Take It? Dee Snider, when he wrote it, ripped off a Christmas song?
No.
Really?
And he purposely did it. He said he wanted some sort of like anthemic thing, and I think it was Christmas time when he was writing the song, and We're Not Gonna Take It is him consciously ripping off Come All Ye Faithful. Yep.
You just broke my brain just now.
Explosions all over.
You are welcome. Go on.
Donald Trump's press event that promised the endorsement by 100 black evangelical leaders was canceled after many said they had no intention of endorsing him.
That seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, but every intention of embarrassing him. But, I mean, I think this is a secret to Trump's success. He doesn't care. Like he said, all these black preachers are going to support me. And they're like, no, we're not. He was like, doesn't matter. Other preachers will support me. Like, this should be a major hitch in his giddy up. This should be a major humiliation. As Inigo Montoya says in Princess Bride, a movie that Funkhauser absolutely must see, humiliations galore. It should be humiliations galore for Trump, but he just doesn't let it faze him. I think anybody that walks out in public with that hair is like, what else do you got? Look, do you see what's on top of my head? There's nothing you can say or do that's going to diminish me or embarrass me more than what I do to myself every single day when I look in the mirror and decide to leave the house with this on my head. So I think he's absolutely immune to the slings and arrows of criticism, and I think that's what's kept his campaign alive and thriving. Yep, that's what I think.
Well, yeah, because the criticism's the hair. The hair is what keeps him alive.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's his calling card. It is utterly ridiculous. It's, like people can make fun of it like you wouldn't believe. And he's just impervious to, like we said, the pointy barbs of criticism. And hair-related hate-mongering that's piled up against him every single day. And he's had his emotional armor hardened by people going, ha, what's that thing on your head, for like 25 years. So, college hate crime involving dog poop. People are on like super high alert for racism on college campuses right now. As a country, we've never been more divided in a lot of ways, or at least not in our lifetimes. But people are on high alert for racism at college campuses right now because of incidents at the University of Missouri and other places. And someone left a bag of number 2 on the porch of a black cultural center at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, this past week, just gone by. So, naturally, especially because I guess it happened in Tennessee, people assumed it was a hate crime. The Vanderbilt police got involved and reviewed security camera footage to find out who'd left it there. Was it a hate crime? Well, I mean, you know, that's very interesting. Like leaving a bag of poop on someone's doorstep. In the past, it would have been a prank, and now we're so overly sensitive to absolutely everything. It could be viewed as a hate crime. And you know what? It could have been a hate crime. It could have been. Funkhauser, if somebody left a bag of poop on your doorstep, would you consider it to be a hate crime?
It depends on the size and odor, I guess.
And if it was on fire?
Yeah. Dang kids.
Yeah.
I don't think so. What about you?
I don't know. If somebody left a bag of poop on my doorstep, I would think more like those meddling kids. But, you know, also, that's my home, not a black cultural center at a university in Tennessee. So I could understand why people are on, like, heightened alert for racism, especially in places of education in the dirty, dirty South, where these sort of things still exist in a way that it's hard to picture sometimes. The Vanderbilt police got involved, reviewed some of the security camera footage to find out who'd left it there. Was it someone perpetrating a hate crime? Well, turned out that it was a blind girl. Yep, she was blind. Her seeing eye dog, as seeing eye dogs do, as all dogs do, had when I walk Millhouse, I refer to it as filing his TPS reports. I'm like, Millhouse filed his TPS reports. Good. And her seeing eye dog had filed their TPS reports. She'd scooped it up and left it there before she went inside to work on a project for a sociology class. It was, she's blind and she left it there. I guess, I don't know. I don't think it's a hate crime. As somebody that dutifully does the most horrible part of pet ownership, I opened the show talking about how great dogs were. There's one rather odious responsibility that comes with a dog, and that's cleaning up after it. And you know what? All the smiles and the hugs and the love and the puppy kisses and the way they make me laugh and feel good about a bad day on a regular basis, it's 100% worth it. But it's no fun. It's just I hate other dog owners who don't pick up after their dogs. I can't stand that. And she might be blind, but she didn't pick it up. But she says she relates to the black students who thought it was racism, saying, quote, "I'm also a minority on this campus, and I also face separation and exclusion and discrimination." What happens when discrimination collides with discrimination? A big bang of discrimination now being experienced by millennials on college campuses nationwide. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for joining us, Camille. We'll be back tomorrow. We will do this all over again. Have a good one.
Ciao.
You know how a lot of times you feel like it's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it.